Live from the Export Beer Garden studio and brought to you as always by Export Ultra, the beer for here. This is the Agenda podcast for Wednesday, the 7th of August.
The Agenda podcast, the home of sporting nonsense and claptrap. Brought to you by Export Ultra.
I'm back, Lane.
Did you put your bereavement leave in?
From observing a days of national grieving for the retirement of Sean Johnson. And yeah, Beauty couldn't have come at a worse time. Men died. Literally just spent 40 minutes talking about how we didn't think he was going to retire.
That was noted yesterday.
And I didn't. I genuinely didn't. My take was other clubs have been offering him money, which means our club's offered him money. And I don't think that you turn down six figures if it's still being offered to you.
I think he has got a big enough future outside of the game.
That's sort of what I've come to learn. And I've always said that being rich isn't about how much money you have. It's about how much money you can say no to.
Yeah.
And he said no to what I presume to be an eye-watering amount of money.
Yeah. And I don't know if it's eye-watering. He is coming to the end of his career.
It would make my eyes water.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
If you presented me with that contract.
Yeah, but not, I mean.
It would make your eyes water to present me with that contract.
Yeah, it would. But yeah, like I mentioned yesterday, he's got a lot of interests outside of the game.
Yeah.
He's obviously launched his own little media empire as well. So you know what? He probably worked out that he could probably make more money with less stress, less travel, more time with his family if he concentrated on that.
Yeah. So that's a good point. What's he been offered outside of that? Obviously, I thought whenever I see an athlete launch their own podcast, I'm like, that's 1 foot out.
Yep.
And I think the more violent the game that you play, the further that foot is out.
Yeah.
You know, because if you start making money off something outside of your sport, you're like, I've just done my pec, my Achilles, fucking my hammy this year, in the last calendar year. And God bless him, because most athletes, we've said this before, most athletes don't get to decide when they retire.
Yeah.
They are told, hey, by the agent after about 6 months after their last game, hey, we're not getting a lot of nibbles here, so you're done. So, yeah, it is sad that he's not going to be playing one more year, but hell of a career, and he has to be in your all-time Warriors squad. Otherwise, you don't know anything about the Warriors. This was an interesting question, and I know this is a few days old now, but it's been asked to me twice today, just this morning, by two different people. Would you rather win bronze in the pole vault or lose because of your downstairs?
Downstairs.
And I said the same thing to both those people. Every year, well, every 4 years, someone wins bronze at the Olympics for pole vault. But not every year does someone get to write their name into the history books for dislodging the bar with their downstairs. And can you imagine him walking into the Olympic Village afterwards? Just full of confidence.
He should walk around dislodging all sorts of things with his downstairs.
Yeah.
Like he should go past the Olympic Village bar and just knock off a tray of Heinekens and go, sorry about that. Sorry about that. Was he Italian? I don't know. But just go. What else can you knock off? Oh, he's French. So, you go around to the patisserie and just go across and just swipe off all the croissants off the top.
A jewellery store should have him in their ads where he walks into the shop and it's all shot from above the waist, and he turns around and you just hear millions of dollars of jewellery smashing. The endorsement deals would be outside.
Absolutely. I mean, even a spray and wipe ad, he just walks past, whoosh, cleans it off.
Maybe like an ad for No More Nails or like Gorilla Glue, where he goes over, his downstairs hits the bar and it doesn't dislodge.
Yes.
Because it's been glued down with the only substance known to man strong enough to withstand this guy's downstairs.
Yeah, as he lands afterwards, he goes, and tries it again, and it smacks his nuts on the, and it goes, Sally's Gorilla stays fast. And he's like,
first time I've ever seen it. I think that he's already been offered like $250,000 to film an adult video. And I think that the way he should play this is he should launch an OnlyFans, but not post any pictures of just post a picture of his face, post a screenshot of the bar being dislodged.
This is controversial.
Yep.
Okay. I believe he's got a tiny P, but massive Bs.
Oh, so you think it was the bees that dislodged it?
Yeah, having looked at the footage and gone back on the tapes.
Yeah.
Controversial. I mean, he's probably loving life. Although there could be some disappointed partners coming around the corner, because I believe he may be operating a cashew with some big tractor wheels.
Right, okay.
That's, if you look at the footage, it's not his D that knocks it off. It's his Bs that wrap around the pole and dislodge it. So I'm just going to throw it out there. Small P, big Bs.
Okay. Huge conspiracy theory.
Yeah. I'm just, you like, do your own research.
Yeah.
Do your own research. Do your own research into that.
Are we allowed to use the footage? Could we cut this footage from this podcast in with that?
Once the Olympics is over?
Yep. All right.
Yes, we will, because when the Olympics are over, very litigious, the New Zealand Olympic Committee and the Olympics, for some reason, they don't want people sharing the content or talking about it.
But it is an important issue that you've raised. You know, for the last week now, all anyone's been talking about is the D.
Yeah, no, it's his Bs.
But you're saying on this podcast, the Agenda podcast,
yes,
that it's actually his Bs.
Yeah, and people are going to be bitterly disappointed at the closing ceremony when they strip him naked at some stage.
Yeah,
and go, ah!
I would just love, because I like when, so every year in, say, Super Rugby, NBA, whatever, when there's a grand final, and they have to print the winning team's hats and jerseys before because they don't know who's going to win. So every year there is a losing team's winning hat that they presumably burn. I would love to get, so say for example when the Blues play the Crusaders in the Super Rugby grand final, I'd love to have had a Blues champions hat and wear that and have people say, they didn't win that year, did they? Like, no, they didn't. And I would like to, if I was him, I'd have the bronze medal. And they'd be like, I thought you didn't win the bronze medal at the 2024 Olympics. You're right. And that's because
I did this.
My downstairs dislodged the bar. Yeah, 100%. Yesterday, while I was in my day of mourning, I went and did the groceries. Went to Pak N Save. There was a guy there with a basket grabbing a couple of things, box of chocolates, a bottle of wine, and a thing of flowers, a bouquet of flowers. Pak N Save flowers. Are you in or out on Pak N Save flowers?
Okay, there's a caveat on the Pak N Save flowers. The short answer is yes, I'm in.
Okay.
There is a caveat. You've got to unwrap them and rewrap them yourself before gifting them. You've got to take all that cellophane shit off and the kind of everything that screams Pak N Save about it, you've got to zhuzh up a bit.
Yeah.
So you've got to repackage it. If you've got any coloured paper or home or brown paper, buy two or three.
Brown paper,
Buy 2 or 3 of them as well, and so you can mix them, bouquets. You mix them up and then rewrap them.
Oh, because one day she's going to go into Pak N Save, she's going to look, she'll see the exact bouquet you've given her and be like, the bloody Pak N Save flowers.
Yeah.
But if you mix and match them, she'll never see that.
Yeah, and the key is rewrapping. Just kind of, just mask it. It's the same with service station flowers. You never buy one. You got to buy 2, 3, zhuzh it up. Stop on the side of the road, grab a fern, fucking whack that motherfucker in there. Like, just grab some greenery from anywhere and just whack it in there.
Off the lawn.
Yeah.
Because I guess at the end of the day, these flowers have been grown presumably where all the other flowers have been grown.
Correct.
You can only grow, a flower's a flower.
It's the packaging. It's like Pak N Save. That's their motto, you know. Everything's out of a box. It's concrete floors stacked to the roof. Wouldn't want to be there in an earthquake. But, that's their motto. That's the same with the flowers. They're wrapped in shitty kind of this clear plastic stuff.
Yeah.
So you just gotta salt bad.
I don't mind it because I was looking at that and I was like, brother, surely not the Pak N Save flowers.
But he sounds like, what did he buy? Chocolates?
Yeah, I saw a bottle of wine.
Lindauer?
Ooh, didn't see what it was.
Yeah, if he's got Lindy's chocolates and just that, he's on a Tinder date. He's cheap.
Oh, right.
Yeah, he's on some sort of,
I was thinking he's done something horrific.
Well, there's a scale, isn't there,
Yeah.
of what you've done that's horrific and what you purchase to make up for it.
So
that doesn't sound like a horrific crime.
There's a minor crime, you think?
Potentially.
I don't know, like stacking the dishwasher wrong or...
I just maybe coming home late. But
blowout. Yeah. Didn't come home one night.
Oh, that didn't come home. That's quite a big one.
Yeah.
So you'd escalate that one a little bit, potentially with maybe a bigger bouquet, maybe a dinner.
I've only ever done that once, didn't come home. And I was on Lee Hart's couch watching Beatles documentaries.
That'll do it.
Is my story, and I am fucking sticking to that until I die. And Lee will back me up on that as well.
He's good like that.
He's a great New Zealander.
He's good like that.
And that in the industry is called a segue because we are crunching the numbers on who is the greatest New Zealander of all time at the moment. I would like to remind people because This has gone massive across social media, hundreds of comments on every platform. I didn't make I made the images, but I didn't set the brackets. You guys voted for these on social media.
Yeah.
And that's why we're getting so many comments now that it's live of like, this guy should have been in there. This guy should have been in there. Well, where were you? You know, because we had your chance on social media and in the voicemails to send through who you wanted. And a lot of people got overlooked. And I keep going back to voter apathy. Kane Williamson's not in there because I think everyone thought that he was going to be in there.
Sam Whitelock's not even in there.
Sam Whitelock's not in there.
The greatest capped All Black of all time.
Some are saying that there's too many cricketers in the bracket. There are 4. There are also 4 rugby players. And to those people, I would say that cricket is our tūranga waiwai. This is where we came from. Yeah. So there's always going to be an overrepresentation of cricketers.
That's the same as rugby, though. It's our 2 national sports.
That's right. There are not a lot of politicians. In fact, there's none, I don't think.
No.
So, and that's, again, a reflection of who we are as a people. And I heard Heath talking yesterday on the podcast about like, there's going to be some real popularity. Some people are going to get through just because they're popular. Like, I don't know, like the Foursquare guy, maybe, Mr. Whippy.
Yeah, or Harold the Giraffe.
Harold the Giraffe. So be it.
Yeah, it's not. It's and like I said yesterday, this is not some sort of manipulated rock countdown.
No. This is for the people, by the people, and if a joke nominee makes it through, then fucking so be it. If the Foursquare guy beats Charlie Upham, then the Foursquare guy beats Charlie Upham.
That's like, you know what, it's power to the people. I don't know if you recall, in England, every year in Britain, Britain's Got Talent or whatever talent contests they have that Simon Cowell's involved in, and Britain's Got Talent or whatever, the winner always releases a Christmas song, and it's fucking shit, but it always goes to number 1 because it's been on that reality TV show.
Right.
And the group or the band release the song, it goes to number 1.
Yeah.
Everyone in Great Britain go because it's publicised so much.
Yeah.
And there was an uprising one year, and one guy said, "Fuck this! This cannot happen again. This is a national embarrassment."
Yeah.
And he did a campaign to people to go out, download, and buy "Killing in the Name of" for the Christmas number 1.
Yeah.
And you know what? The Christmas number 1 that year, because they make a big deal of it in the UK, the Christmas number 1.
Yeah, right.
Was Killing in the Name of.
Oh, see, this is for the people, by the people. It's like when they had that Arctic exploring boat that they ran a competition. What are we going to call this thing? And they came up with Bodie McBoatface.
Yeah, and they didn't call it that.
I know, they
pulled out.
So they pulled out. Then they tried it again a couple of years later, and the winning vote, I'm pretty sure, was Bodie McBoatface too. And I don't think they called it that either.
You can't go to the public and then pull out.
No.
That's bullshit. I know. I recall a certain national body went to the public with what uniform should we wear for our short format games. What one? Beige.
Yeah. And they were like, what about teal?
Yeah. And they goes, we counted other votes outside of social media as well. Because the social media votes were off the scale.
Yeah.
We know for a fact you can't do that 2 months before a summer because those uniforms have already been made.
They've already gone to print.
They've gone to print, and so we all knew that it was going to be teal because they'd already made it. So it's like, don't go to the public.
Yeah. And if you do, you've just got to go through with it no matter how humiliating the results are.
Correct. So that's where we find ourselves.
And so the first bracket, the first round, the first matchup was Sir Edmund Hillary versus Sir Ernest Rutherford. And I took to social media to voice my concerns about, and again, not to belittle or besmirch the good name of Sir Edmund Hillary, but I did say, Ed climbed a mountain. Ernest Rutherford unleashed the power of God.
Yeah, but like I mentioned on your comment, I don't feel like I really know Ernest Rutherford.
No.
Whereas I feel like I've got a bit more of an affinity with the apurist, the beekeeper.
Yes.
In Edmund Hillary.
And I think people like to see themselves in Edmund Hillary as well. He is the quintessential Kiwi, I think.
So he won.
So I think there were a lot of votes for Ernest Rutherford, to be fair. He won. I was sort of having this debate with my partner yesterday, and I was like, well, Ernest Rutherford's on the $100 note and Ed Hillary's on the $5 note. That should show you, that at least says to me, that Ernest Rutherford is 5 times as important to our country as Edmund Hillary is. No. To which she said, well, which do you see more often, a $5 note or a $100 note?
I'm with her.
So, and so is the public as well. So they've gone with Ed.
Yeah.
And Sir Edmund Hillary will be going through to round 2.
The greatest beekeeper to ever live.
Yeah. I couldn't even tell you who's second. This morning,
Gary Poynton,
the soundkeeper Gary from ZM.
Yeah,
he's the second best. Okay. this morning it is Susie Cato versus Jason Gunn.
Oh, I'm a gun guy.
Eh?
Yeah, I'm a gun guy.
Yeah. He's the first of the celebrities still with us to have weighed in the comments.
Yeah.
And when this first went live, his comment is that a vote for Jason Gunn is a vote for Thingy.
Absolutely it is.
So you've basically got a 2-for-1 there if you're a Thingy fan. Me personally, I have a long-held grudge against Susie Cato.
You can't hate Susie Cato.
You can hate Susie Cato.
See you later. It's time to say goodbye.
The cultural impact she's had on the country.
See you later.
I'm not going to say it's not a great song. The clean up, everybody, everywhere.
Yeah.
I know has helped kindergarten teachers, not just nationally but globally,
And lovers throughout the world at the end of a heavy lovemaking session.
and lovers.
Yeah.
So look, kindergartners and lovers worldwide thank Susie Cato. Mm-hmm. My issue with Susie Cato, and I think it's a very specific one, is that my mother auditioned to be Susie Cato when the auditions were happening. And so she went in and...
When you say Susie Cato, Susie Cato, she's a real person. You're not playing, you're going for the role of Susie Cato. Her and Susie Cato were going...
Imagine if you showed up for the Susie Cato auditions, you're like, hi, I'm Lisa. And she's like, hi, I'm Susie. I was like, oh, well, you're going to get it then, aren't you? You already got the same name.
So she was going for the same role that Susie eventually won.
Yeah, that eventually became Susie Cato.
Yeah.
But at one point could have been Lisa Fleming.
Right.
And didn't get it. And I just...
So who holds the grudge, you or Lisa Fleming?
No, me.
Yeah, right.
I don't think Mum cares at all. But I'm just like, my life would have been way different if my mum was Susie Cato.
Would it have been?
I reckon it would have. I don't know, for better or worse.
Yeah, okay.
You always assume the grass is going to be greener.
I think you would have been teased quite heavily.
You're assuming I wasn't.
You would have been teased more than usual.
I think I would have been a rock star for my mum.
Oh, really?
It would be like having a dad who was the Wiggle.
Still, I don't reckon that's a good thing.
Okay. Well, anyway, so the audition tape existed for a while as well that Mum did. And it was a good audition, but, you know, when you see yourself on camera, it's just mortifying.
Yes.
So every year that would come out and me and my uncle would take turns hiding it somewhere at my grandparents' house so that she couldn't find it and destroy it, so that every year we could pop that thing back into the VHS around Christmas time. The whole family could watch it. One year it got ripped out of the VCR and thrown into the fireplace.
Oh, so...
heartbreaking.
Oh, no, so that's before you could digitize it and it stays online forever.
Yeah, I never got the chance to put it onto DVD. And so, yeah, we'll never get to see that. But yes.
So you're a Jason Gunn guy then?
So I am by default a Jason Gunn guy. Thingy, very unlucky not to make the final bracket.
Yeah.
We had to cut the line off somewhere, but he did get a lot of votes initially. So, yeah, I am by default going for Jason Gunn, which is subsequently a vote for
Thingy.
Thingy. If he makes it through this round, we should probably get him on the show to pitch his case.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But as it stands, the only way that he can make it through is if you go and vote for him. You can do that on Instagram. You can do it on Facebook. You can send a voicemail in here. You can ring Mike Lane. His number is 027.
Hey.
So get your votes in.
I got enough of those messages.
Get your votes in right now. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back to talk Olympics. Right, just before we talk Olympics, it's your last chance to get in the draw for the exclusive opportunity to win a VIP Warriors experience, tickets, food, beverages, vouchers, Hallenstein's kit. Text VIP to 3236 to be a VIP at the one and only Warriors game left this season. Thanks to the ACC and Hallenstein's brothers. I want to start with the Olympics overnight. We weren't in medal contention for anything last night, but the story of last night was the C2 debacle. This is the two canoeing dudes.
This is the drop knee teapot, quite sexual looking kayaking. You're on one knee, and it's a lot of hip thrusting.
Yeah,
and it looks dangerously hard to balance in those things.
Yes.
It looks about 30 centimeters wide.
Yeah,
you're
on a log.
You're on one knee with another big stake in front of you, and you have to like fully hip thrust your way to the line.
Yeah,
it looks quite ungainly, but also quite hot.
And they lost by like
so much.
It's been compared this morning to Eddie the Eagle or Eric the Eel.
Yeah.
Eric the Eel was the guy who, I forget what country he's from, but basically to qualify he had to go and swim around a barrel in the middle of a river.
Yeah.
And then come back. He had never swum, I don't think, in an Olympic length pool before. He was not familiar with the starting gun. He didn't recognise it when it went off.
But there's a big difference here because there was a means to an end.
Yes, so
with them entering this.
So these guys had only picked this up 3 months ago, and it was because they'd actually never done the sport before. They are kayakers, not canoers.
Yeah.
And so we had qualified the K2 team,
yes,
the men's team.
So it's that K2 is kayak with 2 dudes in it.
Yes.
Yeah.
But our K4 had missed qualification. But whoever won the Oceania champs in the C2, which is the canoeing, the thing that happened last night,
the hip thruster,
they got to register 2 more boats. So this was a second opportunity for us. So these 2 dudes went into the Oceania qualifiers, which included Australia and Fiji and us, and that was it. And they just managed to beat Aussie and Fiji, which gave us another entry into the Olympics. It's a bizarre set of circumstances.
But it's a loophole that we milked, so good on them.
That's right. And they showed up, and instead of just being like, oh, look, we'll pull out sick on the day or whatever, they were like, fuck it, we can never go.
No, you have to. Their biggest worry was disqualification.
Right. But they're not going to take our other boat out if we get disqualified, are they?
No, but I think, I don't know. I'm not sure if there was, because that's what they said. They said we just wanted to get disqualified.
But I love that there were just 2 Kiwi dudes just showed up, just like, fuck it, let's have a crack. How does this one go? Righto, let's do it.
It looks quite hard. It looks like you need a very strong core to keep that balance.
It also is the least, like, Olympic looking out of all of those sports.
Yeah,
it's real, who's our man with the flannel shirt, the bloody lumberjack? Like, they just look like lumberjacks coming up to the thing. One of the articles, I think it was in Stuff, was going after them saying that they disgraced the sport, and it was like, and then the article was
classic Stuff was on Spin-Off as well.
It was like most embarrassing New Zealand performances at an Olympics. I was like, fuck it off. They did our country a massive service here
because they turned around with their fucking K4 and they made the semis.
Yeah.
So they turned around and said, "Suck on that."
Yeah.
It's a means to an end. We've got our K4 boat in. First time in like 20-something years that a K4 New Zealand boat, and they've made the semis to qualify for the finals. So fucking bite it.
And the other part about it, not only does it show the world what we're about as a nation, we're about just showing up and having a God's honest crack. We've never done it before. They said they couldn't keep the thing in the lane because the kayaks have a rudder, but the canoes don't. So they're both rowing. Fucking only done it like a handful of times between the 2 of them. And then if I row on this side, then he rows on that side. Now we're out the bloody lane. So God bless them. But the other part of it is, how many times do we talk about on this podcast, at the pub, we'd love to have someone in the lane who's just like a normal guy just to see how good these... This is it. We had it here. These 2 dudes have never done this before.
45 seconds behind the finishers in the quarterfinal. What I was gutted about that was in their heat, they got smoked in their heat. And it was watching it. And luckily the commentator got given the information beforehand and said, hey, the reason they're in there is loophole. They've only been doing it for 3 months, so don't expect much from the Kiwis. And then from the start, they just got smoked.
Yeah.
But then they lost their heat by miles. They still qualified for the quarterfinals.
They're like,
they're shitting me. So they had to come back again. And in the quarterfinal, they went even slower because they were trying to preserve energy for their K4, which was like 40 minutes later.
Oh.
So they just basically just went...
Yeah.
So
bugger this. Because the other part of it is like, they said, they've only been doing this for 3 months. I reckon they did it 3 months ago and haven't done it since.
Yeah.
Because...
why would they?
Why would they? They're training for a completely different sport. And then every now and then, I reckon they would have been like, oh, fuck, we also have to do the other one. Shit. What are you up to on Sunday?
You got the oars?
Do you want to go and have a crack?
I've only got the kayak oars.
Yeah. Or we'll just turn it around and just use it one way. God bless those dudes. I love those too.
I also love the kayaking, the K4. When they take off, and the women's K4 have made the final or the semi?
Semi, I think it's tonight.
They won their heat, but I just love it. It's like a propeller when they all go at once. When they're just like when they're in sync. I think it looks awesome.
Yeah, it does. Carrington's through in the K2 and the K4. Our other K2 that qualified, Amy Fisher and her mate.
They got knocked out. Yeah. But and I like the fact that all the women's K4 all had the same hairdos. They had the tight plait on the kind of cornrows, Viking style, same glasses, same badass black long sleeve lycra top.
Our kit looks sick.
Yeah,
we look mean when we show up in black and all black. Some of the get-ups that other people are wearing look ridiculous.
There was another team looks like they had polo shirts on.
They did, and I was like, you're not going to win. If I showed up again, this would have been my hunch on the court on the field. I'd have been like, you're not winning with a zip in your uniform.
That's right.
Sorry.
Fully lycra up. I want the full wraparound glasses.
Yeah.
Yeah. The hard out plaits.
In terms of kit Ours is number 1. Number 2 is Albania.
Oh, yeah.
They've got the red flag with a black eagle dragon thing on it, and that's their uniform. And it looks terrifying.
I did see Amy Fisher rolling pit vipers as well. I'm revolving the pitties. That was good. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, that's again another massive hunch. The other one, I know that this sport's caught your eye. Our man King Julian, the lemur from Madagascar, he's climbing for New Zealand.
The rat up a drainpipe rock climbing event is easily my favourite. Like, they get up a 15-metre wall, and the guy set the world record. He got 4.5 seconds or something.
Ridiculous.
To get up a 15-metre wall. You need to hire those kind of people to rob banks and shit for you.
Yeah.
Like, they just scale stuff out of here.
Yeah.
Like, imagine he pinched your handbag or your camera, took off, and you chased after him, and he just went straight up 15 metres. You'd be like,
4 seconds, he's 15 metres in the air.
Fucking hell. I quite like it. I don't quite like the technical one. I don't know if you checked out the technical one.
That one's goofy. So
and it's slow, and like they fall off and they have another go.
So that one's bouldering, and the wall's on all different angles, and you've got to climb up, and you get points for touching different things.
Nah.
It does. It looks goofy. So they got 1 foot behind their head, and then they got 1 hand on the thing, and then they reach over with the other hand, and that's how they score. It's just kind of lame. It's cool when they jump across the wall. That looks cool.
Yeah, but make that an event.
Yeah, then do
Wall
more
jumping.
of that. The wall climbing thing, I had to ask a few questions about this because I was like, how does it work? First of all, the wall configuration is the same at every event.
And it's the same size holds?
Yeah.
Right.
There's like a standard thing for it. And so our girl who Tetzlaff, she's apparently got one of those setups. I don't know if it's at her house, but so it's the same configuration every time. That's why, man, she was up against this Polish woman who I think set the world record, then broke it like 3 times in the heats.
Well, that's what I think King Julian, he beat a former world champ, the Iranian.
Yeah.
And he was like shocked, and he shook his hand and then dropped down to his knees and started like to the Iranian guy because he's a bit of a legend, and he just knocked him out of the Olympics.
Right.
And now he's up against the current world champ.
Record holder, yeah.
So man, for that world record one, when I saw him do it, 4.5 seconds, that was insane.
It honestly looks like when they film movies and like a Spider-Man movie and you see the behind the scenes and he's got the harness on, or like a Pink concert.
Yeah.
And she goes shooting out over the crowd.
Well, you threw out a conspiracy theory, but really that rope's pulling them up.
Yes, I have a strong suspicion.
No.
I have a strong suspicion that the rope is helping them. And so I said, I think what we need to do to test that theory is get rid of the rope and have a net that follows them up instead. So there's nothing, they're not touching anything. And if they fall off, they're still safe.
I reckon go one further, and then as soon as they start, the floor disappears into a pool. So then if they fall off, they fall into water.
Of acid.
And
sharks.
And there's sharks with laser beams on their heads.
It opens up into a pit of saw blades. No, I think, I don't know. Just looking at it, it's probably an optical illusion.
It is, because it's counterweighted, that's all, I think. You don't think it helps you.
But you can't fall, right? So once you're up, you could conceivably lean against the rope. So like say you've gone up 3 meters.
Yeah.
Could you then lean against the rope?
You probably could, but that's 1 or 2 seconds gone.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is I feel like it's helping them. I feel like the rope is an aid of some sort.
I reckon they've closed that loophole. I reckon
they're bamboozling us all. I reckon,
so you reckon
as a sport, there's
so behind the wall, that guy set the world record. Behind the wall, there's like Obelix, who's just like leaning back and just dragging this guy up.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think 3 of his mates are over the other side with the rope. And just pulling him the whole way up the wall. They've hoodwinked us as a global community. It's only the second time it's been in the Olympics.
How fast do you reckon you could get up that 15-metre wall?
I could not get up that 15-metre wall. Is how fast I could do that. I would die of old age before I ever got up that thing.
You don't reckon you better do it?
I have the perfect combination of fat and weak that would stop me from getting up a wall. Trust me.
It is also, on a 5-degree overhang.
Oh, so like backwards?
Yeah. No, well, 5 degrees. It's slightly back.
I'd fall over looking at the thing, I reckon, if I tried to. I'm very acutely aware of how hard I can't climb. If you were to design a climber, it would not look like me.
No, you're right.
Do you think you'd get up it?
Like, I'd get up it eventually, I reckon.
Yeah.
But not in 4.5 seconds or 5 seconds.
No.
No, I don't reckon even in a minute. I reckon not even 2 minutes. I reckon I'm getting the like sewing machine out. You know, when you get out there and yeah.
I reckon that free solo dude could climb El Capitan before I could get to the top of that thing.
Should we see if old King Julian can give the Sky Tower a go?
Just on the outside of it. I mean, yeah. No, I think I'd need to pitch one of those canopies, you know, when they sleep on the side of the hill for a night and then keep going.
2 meters up, you pitch the tent for the night. Wake up.
I'm boiling a jug.
Do another meter.
Yeah.
Put the tent out again.
Just going to shut it down for the day, fellas. Then I'm in the tent again, and I'm up again. I reckon it'll be like a 4-day exposition. I'm ordering Uber Eats while I'm up there as well because I'm only 3 meters off the ground.
Do it full Netflix doco on it.
They interview my partner. It's just like, I just wish he'd stop doing it. You know,
it's so dangerous.
We're going to have a family one day and I just need him to start thinking about that.
You're 4 meters up.
With the Big Mac. Yeah, so no, I don't think I could get up that wall. The other Olympics last night was our girl Ramsden. She came, Maya Ramsden. She came 6th, and it was the most
in the 1500
in the 1500 meter heats, and it was the most hectic 6th finish that you'll ever see in your life because 6th was the cutoff for qualifying, for automatic qualifier, and so this girl was in 6th. There's about 10 meters between her and the person in 5th, and our girl was another 10 meters back. I think she was in 8th when they came into the last 100 meter, and she just burned them all and just pipped this girl right at the post.
Yeah, they were hauling ass though. Those last ones. That 1500 is brutal because they have. I think they have 2 heats, then a semi, then a final. Like you got to run the 1500 like 3 or 4 times to make the final.
And I reckon it's the most brutal distance.
Oh, fuck that.
Take it from me. I know a thing or two about running. All right.
Yeah. You run a couple of half marathons.
Run a couple of half marathons, mate. Yeah. Right. No,
I don't know if you overran.
I don't know if you know much about. Yeah, I ran about 24Ks in the first one. I don't know if you know much about how the metric system works, but that's a lot of 1500s. All right. So I know a thing or two about the 1500. But if you ever ran it at school, it's the lactic acid.
Yes.
It's the king of the lactic acid build-up.
Yeah.
Those 100-meter dudes, they'll run 2-3 in a night. You're not running 2 or 3 1500s in a night. So, yeah, it's brutal. And she's through, I presume she's got another one tonight.
Yeah, is it do they have quarters or straight to semis? I don't know. I just remember there's always a hell of a lot of them.
Yeah. Too many. And it's hectic as well because you're in there just mixing it with people.
And there's people shoving and pushing. There was one of them. Did you watch one of the heats where they started screaming at each other?
Yes, I did see that.
That was great. A lot of pushing and yelling.
Yeah.
They need to mic them up.
Oh, 100%.
That would be great.
All yelling at each other in different languages.
Even miking up the sprinters would be good because I'm sure they're smack talking.
Not while they're sprinting.
No, but at the start.
Oh, big time. Yeah. No,
100%. Not while they're sprinting. It'd be funny.
I wouldn't have thought so.
If you're fucking going 100 and you're fucking smack talking.
Talking shit the whole way down the track. In off-field action, Luana Alonso. She is a Paraguayan swimmer. She has been asked to leave not just the Olympic Village, but Paris as a whole, and probably the country.
What has she done?
She's back in Paraguay now. What she did was she showed up. She's 20 years old. I think it's her second Olympics. She bombed out in her heat and then retired from the sport and then went back into the village and was just presumably, I'm reading between the lines, presumably just on the piss from there on out.
I can't imagine she's the only one.
No, absolutely not.
So why is she being picked on?
The official line from the Paraguayan Olympic team was that she was creating an inappropriate
environment.
An inappropriate environment is what she was creating. So yeah, Luana Alonso is both her name and her Instagram handle.
She must have done something terrible because there is a lot of athletes that go out in the first week.
They were saying that she was distracting other athletes who still had yet to compete. And I think that part of it is also that she retired from the sport straight away. So I think they were like, oh, fuck, come on. So you knew you were going to do this and we flew you out here to Paris to bomb out in the semi-final and then walk around in the Olympic Village.
God bless you, Luana. I mean, you're welcome in the New Zealand accommodation anytime, I'm sure. The New Zealand Sevens team, men's Sevens team, are welcome. They've been there for a couple of weeks now.
Yep.
Just on the hammer.
They have. Yeah, so apparently part of the issue was she wasn't wearing the team kit around the village. and also that she was sort of starting to overstay her welcome. She was distracting the other athletes. They said, you have to leave the village.
Yes.
So she went and put herself up on the Champs-Elysees in a hotel there.
Yeah.
Went on a shopping spree, was still hanging around the village. They're like, all right,
that's it.
You're still distracting all of the athletes. You now have to leave Paris. And so they flew her back to Paraguay. So,
I feel well.
Alonso.
Au revoir.
Luana Alonso.
Like Fernando.
Like Fernando, yeah.
Like, so if I go and search that, just search Luana Alonso like Fernando Alonso.
You'll find it.
Okay.
It is time now it is a Wednesday, despite the fact that I thought it was a Tuesday because I took yesterday off. It is time then for a half-baked sports idea.
Half-baked sports idea.
And I think that today's will be the dumbest half-baked sports idea that I've ever unleashed on you.
Quite something.
And it is that England are going to waste us at cricket this summer. And that is because if you have a look at Afghanistan at the most recent World Cup, they went tremendously. Pakistan historically have done very well in the one days. Afghanistan has been at war for the best part of 20 years.
Yep.
Pakistan's had its own issues.
Yes.
England at the moment, I don't know if you've seen the riots that are going on over there. They are losing the plot over there in England.
Yeah.
And if I've learned anything over the last few years, it's that domestic disturbances, civil wars, uprisings, these kind of things translate to success on the cricket pitch. And I think England are about to have an historic summer of cricket based on the riots that are going on over there. I will throw into that Bangladesh, who I think may conquer the cricketing world over the next 12 months.
There's a few political issues going on over
250 people killed in riots in Bangladesh. That equates directly to cricketing success.
Okay, that is one of the stupidest things you ever said.
Is it? Or the most famous victory that we've had over England was only a few months removed from the Wellington riots outside Parliament where they were tearing cobblestones out of the floor and throwing them at people. Well, that was only about 6 months before we then turned around in Wellington and won one of the most historic test match victories of all time.
You can't count that tent city fest as a riot, surely. It was just a fucking bunch of unemployed and unemployable.
And so I'm calling for cricket fans across the country.
Right. If
you want the Black Caps to win this summer,
get out there and start throwing some rocks.
Get out there and cause some civil disobedience. Get into some good trouble. Let's start a civil war. If we're serious about this cricket thing,
I know the stuff that's happening in England is
outrageous.
It's outrageous. But there is one hilarious piece of video of an old, bald, white supremacist guy yelling at the police and like banging on their shields. And he gets hit from behind by a brick thrown by one of his own. And he kind of goes, turns around and kind of goes for it and then just gets one straight in the nuts. And he drops down to one knee and he's just under friendly fire is coming left, right, and centre. It's one of the most poetic pieces of footage I've seen in a long time. If you haven't seen it, you'll be able to find it.
I've been sent it like 3 or 4 times on Instagram.
It's so good.
It's just something so funny about the way it happens in slow motion and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I think England are in for a hell of a summer of cricket.
Okay.
So are Bangladesh. And if
let's record this. About it, let's put this into the archive and replay it again when we do the hot take time machine.
Yep.
And replay it again Wednesday in mid-December when the third test is over.
Yeah. And in between them, we're going to start a civil war here in New Zealand. Maybe a bit of north versus south.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good, honest fun.
Good, honest civil disobedience. All right, let's take one more quick break. We'll come back with yours, please.
Yours, please. Brought to you by Leader, home of the lasagna topper.
It's been brought to my attention that one of the ones that I put in for today was actually played out yesterday, and it was the guy talking about how do you drink water.
Yeah, how do you drink water?
I've just bought a water bottle in an attempt to
hydrate more.
Hydrate more, yeah.
So do you just buff that whole bottle, or you just sip it?
No, it's a litre, so it's unbuffable. But I'll go half that bottle in one go.
We're about to go to Beer Fest. You're saying you can't buff a litre?
I'm saying I could, but I'm not setting Beer Fest pace every time I drink water.
Oh, yeah.
But I may need to start training. You're right. That is a good point. So that one's on the button bar. We'll bin that one. Oh, excuse me. First caller here. Yours, please.
Hey, fellas. Just a little fact check here. Yesterday you said that Dominican Republic is beating us per capita.
Oh, no, we got
medals,
this guy. Dominica.
But they actually have 11 million people there. I think you might be thinking of Dominica, you uncultured fucking swine.
Okay.
Anyway, fuck Bookie North.
Yeah, we did change it. We got fact corrected by someone else that it was Dominica, not the Dominican Republic.
There were 4 messages waiting in our inbox this morning.
I know. And look, Dominica Republic, tomato. Like, come on, who cares?
What's going on over there? Also, don't pretend any of you guys that fact checked us that you fucking knew that before this Olympics.
Before you Googled it.
You didn't know that.
Exactly. You're not walking around with that fact in your head, are you? Fact you. But thank you for your message.
Dominican Republic shares half the island with Haiti, obviously.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, really? Imagine living next door to Haiti.
Oh,
shit.
I know. Another caller here, your space.
Great yarn about the Turkish shooter, even if it was clearly bullshit, mainly because there's not many Turkish ladies called Sharon. But I still loved it. And I would love if you guys could make up some more about random athletes and see how far you could spread them before some miserable killjoy fact checker ruins the fun for everybody. Also, motor games, not sport. Get rid of it. And I love water. I reckon it's great.
There you go. There you go. That's the water debate. Do you enjoy water?
Enjoy's not the right word.
He covered a lot there.
Yes,
in that 30 seconds.
Well, I think the first point was the most salient. We need to, for every medal that we win from here on out, we need to come on here the next day and just write a completely bullshit article about them. Read it as if it's fact.
Here's the backstory on such and such.
We missed a real trick with Finn Butcher because I feel like he would have loved it.
Oh yeah.
In fact, did we? Let's do it tomorrow.
I have heard a great story about his upbringing.
Oh really?
Yeah. So we'll do that tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah. Great. I think this is something we need to bring in for every medal that we earn, and just complete bullshit. See how long it takes boomers to catch on,
particularly on Facebook.
Oh, nice story, guys. But maybe check your facts before you read them out into a podcast. Don't come to us for actual facts. Another call here, your space.
Yeah, g'day, fellas. 2 things, right. First one, speed climbing. Pretty good addition, but how missionary and boring. Why can't we just have like 12 athletes just try scale up the Eiffel Tower? First one up the top to the observation deck gets the gold medal. Easy. And second thing is the track. How good is it? But I tell you what is a sore thing to watch is when the athletes line up and do their punishing little Fortnite dance when they get introduced.
Yeah, the King Kong event does sound appealing, where you just get all the athletes in whatever city it's in, you climb the tallest structure and you get to the top and fly around biplanes around the top. You got to grab a biplane.
2016 at the top of Christ the Redeemer in Rio.
Yeah.
That would have been delightful. I don't know what they got in Tokyo, presumably.
They got the Tokyo Tower.
There you go.
Yeah.
The Tokyo Tower. Oh, see, that is a brilliant idea. And then you just have the medals there waiting on a rack. It's just first person to come and grab it and put it around their neck like it's the Amazing Race.
Yeah, and then you just got to lean back like full King Kong and just give it that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
I think that's a great idea.
And the Fortnite dances, not going to get away from that, unfortunately.
There's only going to be more of it.
Yeah, I enjoy the purple track, though. That's really mixed it up.
Purple track is cool. I think what we're going to see over the next year, and I already know I'm going to do it too, is the Swedish pole vaulter. I think he won, and his celebration, he just put the old one hand in the pocket and then did the old Turkish shooter celebration. I'm going to do that to celebrate anything that I achieve.
That's the Turkish shooter celebration.
Turkish shooter, yeah. I think we're going to see a lot of that. We'll be sick of it quicker than the Hawk Tour girl. Another call here. One more. Yours, please.
G'day, mate. I was just listening to some old Agenda podcasts and I was wondering what G Lane's thoughts are on the bro job and if he's done any bro jobs lately. Cheers. Love you, G Lane.
The bro job. Look, I've done the self job, but we're talking about we're talking about the same thing here with the bro job.
I think I pitched this as a promo idea in my early days at Hodaki. It's the bro job. It's just for Men's Health Week.
Yeah.
It's just about men helping men.
Yeah.
And sort of just two dudes just looking into each other. How you doing, man? You okay?
Do a bro job.
Yeah. Is everything okay with you?
Give your mate a bro job.
How's everything at home? And then one of the dudes just slowly goes down out of shot. And it cuts to black and white. Bro job. It's men helping men. Didn't take off.
Didn't it?
Nah.
Couldn't
find a sponsor for it.
I thought that was going to be a little bit more wholesome than what you went with it. I thought it was like men helping men do jobs. So like you come around the house and do jobs,
that is what I meant.
Maybe do some earthworks, maybe
That is exactly what I meant.
I mean, like,
what did you think I meant?
Well, the head disappearing below the shot.
The head will disappear, all right.
Yeah, the bro job. I'm a huge fan. If you want to do it, I don't think I've partake in a bro job myself. But hey, I'm still young-ish.
Yeah.
I don't say no to many things.
I don't even know if we're talking about the same thing at this point. Now is as good a time as any
Can we knock it on the head?
to knock this thing on the motherfucking head. We'll be back tomorrow for a Throwback Thursday edition of the Agenda Podcast. See you then.
You've been listening to the ACC's Agenda Podcast, brought to you by Export Ultra. For more episodes, like and follow on iHeartradio or wherever you get your podcasts.